The Galactic Council is shocked when humans say Earth has forests. Elena Torres stepped off the shuttle, her boots echoing softly on the sleek metal floor of the Galactic Alliance space station. The colossal structure stretched beyond sight, a labyrinth of gleaming corridors alive with alien species. Insectoids with chittering mandibles scuttled past, their segmented limbs clicking. Crystalline beings glided, emitting faint hums that pulsed like distant stars. Elena, tall and composed in her blue diplomatic uniform, tucked a strand of brown hair behind her ear. Her eyes, sharp yet shadowed with nerves, scanned the crowd. This was Earth's first address to the Alliance, and the weight of it pressed against her chest. She took a deep breath, steadying herself, and moved forward. In a private chamber, she met her team. Dr. Marcus Hale, middle-aged with gray hair and data glasses perched on his nose, clutched a data pad brimming with Earth's biological records. His science blouse was crisp, his demeanor calm but intense, ready to unpack the wonders of their planet. Beside him stood Commander Reed Johnson, broad-shouldered and vigilant, his Earth uniform adorned with a silver badge. His sharp eyes darted to every corner, assessing for threats. "Stick close, Ambassador," Reed muttered, his voice low and gruff. "This place feels like a powder keg." Elena nodded, her initial anxiety flickering, but she held tight. They were here to represent humanity, and she wouldn't falter. The council chamber loomed ahead, a vast dome where holographic stars shimmered above rows of alien delegates. President Vaylor, his silver skin catching the light, stood at the center. His light cloak swayed as his elongated, jointed arms gestured toward the human delegation. His presence was commanding, his eyes alert with authority. "Earth's envoy, step forward," he intoned, his voice deep and resonant. Elena's heart raced, but she straightened, leading her team to the podium. The chamber buzzed with whispers, alien faces, furry, scaled, crystalline, turning to study the newcomers. Some leaned forward, curious. Others sat back, skeptical. Elena began her address, her voice steady despite the knot in her stomach. She traced Earth's journey from fractured nations to a unified spacefaring world. "Our planet thrives because of its forests," she said, her words deliberate. "They purify our air, sustain life, give us oxygen to breathe." She paused, letting the concept sink in. Forests weren't just scenery, they were humanity's lifeline, filtering toxins, stabilizing climates. The aliens stirred, their varied forms shifting in their seats. A hairy delegate, draped in woven fibers, tilted its head, its multiple eyes narrowing with intrigue. Dr. Hale activated his data pad, projecting holograms of towering redwoods and lush rainforests. Emerald canopies swayed in simulated winds, leaves catching virtual sunlight. "These forests," Hale explained, his tone measured, "support human health. Their biodiversity yields medicines. Their ecosystems provide habitats that drive innovation." The holograms flickered, showing roots entwined in rich soil, a testament to Earth's resilience. The chamber grew quieter, the aliens' attention sharpening. A crystalline delegate pulsed with soft light, its hum rising in pitch, as if processing the images. President Vaylor leaned forward, his silver fingers interlaced. "These green expanses," he said, his voice tinged with curiosity. "They cover much of your world?" Elena nodded, her confidence growing. "Significant land areas. They stabilize our atmosphere, make long-term habitation possible." The room erupted in murmurs. An insectoid delegate clicked rapidly, its mandibles twitching. "How do they function?" it asked, its tone eager. "Can we sample them?" Elena exchanged a glance with Hale, who gave a subtle nod. The aliens' curiosity was palpable, their questions hinting at barren worlds craving such vitality. A furry representative, its voice gravelly, spoke up. "Our planets lack such systems. Could we replicate this air-cleansing process?" Its question hung in the air, earnest and probing. Elena sensed opportunity but also risk. These beings saw forests as resources, not as the intricate systems humans cherished. Reed shifted beside her, his hand resting near his holster. "They're fishing for something," he whispered. "Stay sharp." Elena kept her expression neutral, responding, "We're open to sharing knowledge, but it's complex. Forests aren't just plants. They're systems we've nurtured for centuries." The session adjourned for a brief recess, and Elena's team retreated to a quiet alcove. Hale scrolled through his data pad, muttering about the aliens' reactions. Reed scanned the corridor, his jaw tight. "They're too interested," he said. "That furry one's already scheming." Elena felt a surge of determination. Forests weren't just Earth's pride. They were humanity's strength, oxygen, medicine, and balance. She thought of childhood walks through pine groves, the air clean and sharp, grounding her. "We'll show them the value," she said softly, her voice firming. "Not just the trees, but what they mean to us." As they prepared to return, the chamber's buzz lingered in Elena's mind. The hairy delegate's question echoed, its curiosity a spark that could ignite alliances or greed. Vaylor's intrigued gaze, the insectoid's eager clicks, they all saw Earth's forests as a mystery to unravel. Elena squared her shoulders, ready to navigate the storm brewing beyond the stars. The council chamber hummed as Elena Torres returned to the podium, her blue uniform crisp under the holographic starlight. The alien delegates settled, their varied forms, scaled, crystalline, insectoid, fixated on her. She sensed the weight of their curiosity, a mix of wonder and calculation. Clearing her throat, she leaned into the microphone. "Earth's forests are our planet's lungs," she said, her voice steady, gaining strength. "They take carbon dioxide, transform it into oxygen through photosynthesis. This process has sustained human life for millennia, letting us thrive." The words felt like a bridge, connecting Earth's quiet strength to the galaxy's gaze. Dr. Marcus Hale stepped forward, his data glasses glinting as he activated new holograms. A simulation spun above the chamber, showing forests absorbing carbon, releasing oxygen, stabilizing Earth's climate. "This carbon cycle," Hale explained, his tone calm but precise, "prevents extreme weather, supports agriculture. It's why humans have reliable food, stable societies." The hologram shifted, displaying fields of crops fed by forest-filtered water, a testament to human survival. The aliens leaned closer, their murmurs rising. A crystalline delegate's light pulsed brighter, its hum vibrating with awe. President Vaylor's silver frame tensed, his elongated arms folding tightly. "You speak of true higher plants?" he asked, his deep voice trembling with disbelief. "Not fungi, not microbes, but self-sustaining greenery?" His alert eyes locked onto Elena, the weight of his question silencing the room. She nodded firmly. "Yes, forests, trees that tower hundreds of meters, their leaves capturing sunlight." Gasps rippled through the chamber. An insectoid delegate clicked rapidly, its mandibles twitching. "We must observe these systems," it insisted, its voice sharp with excitement. "How do they maintain themselves?" Elena's confidence grew, her earlier timidity fading. "Our forests are more than resources," she said. "Their biodiversity inspires us. Plants yield medicines that heal our diseases, ecosystems that strengthen our resilience against environmental shifts." She paused, letting the idea sink in. Forests weren't just air purifiers. They were humanity's muse, sparking art, science, and survival. A furry delegate, its woven robes rustling, raised a clawed hand. "Could we access holographic data to study this photosynthesis?" it asked, its tone earnest, hinting at barren worlds desperate for such knowledge. Commander Reed Johnson shifted beside her, his sharp eyes narrowing at the council's greedy stares. "They're sniffing around too much," he muttered, his voice low and gruff. "This could get messy." Elena kept her composure, but his warning echoed. The aliens' curiosity was a double-edged blade. Some sought learning, others exploitation. She nodded to Hale, who projected another simulation, this one showing forest regeneration over decades. It's not just growth, Hale said. It's a cycle we've mastered, keeping our planet alive. The chamber erupted in chatter as the news spread beyond the station. Interstellar relays buzzed, carrying word of Earth's forests to over 500 star systems. Queries flooded in, some from distant worlds proposing joint research missions to unravel forest secrets. A crystalline envoy pulsed, its voice melodic. "We request observational visits," it said, "to learn maintenance, to adapt to our atmospheres." Elena noted the sincerity but caught the glint in other delegates' eyes. Hunger, not curiosity. Reed leaned in, his badge catching the light. "They're already planning to send scouts," he whispered. "We need to watch our backs." In a quiet moment, Elena's thoughts drifted. She remembered childhood treks through dense forests, the scent of pine and earth grounding her, teaching her empathy for life's delicate balance. Those walks shaped her, just as forests shaped humanity's survival, from clean air to cultural roots. She snapped back as Vaylor called for order, his authoritative nod calming the room. "This revelation changes much," he said, his cloak shimmering. "Earth's systems demand further discussion." The furry envoy spoke again, its gravelly voice eager. "Share your data. Our worlds suffocate without such knowledge." The chamber dissolved into animated debates, delegates clustering to discuss Earth's forests. Some proposed sending scientists, others demanded immediate samples. Elena exchanged a glance with Hale, who adjusted his glasses, already analyzing incoming messages. Reed's jaw tightened, his hand near his holster. "They're too damn curious," he said, his tone pragmatic. "This is going to stir up trouble." Elena nodded, her resolve hardening. The aliens saw forests as a miracle, but humanity's true strength lay in understanding them. Centuries of nurturing ecosystems, balancing life. As the session closed, she felt the galaxy's eyes on Earth, a mix of wonder and ambition that could ignite or unite. The Galactic Alliance station thrummed with tension as word of Earth's forests spread like wildfire across hundreds of star systems. In distant worlds, civilizations bound to fungal ecosystems and barren rocks marveled at the notion of self-sustaining greenery. Elena Torres stood in her team's quarters, her blue uniform slightly creased from the day's intensity. Her brown hair, still neatly tied, framed a face now set with purpose. The revelation had shifted the galaxy's gaze, and she felt its weight. Holographic screens flickered with incoming messages, each one a spark in a growing storm. Dr. Marcus Hale hunched over his datapad, gray hair catching the dim light as his fingers danced across the interface. "They're fascinated," he said, his voice steady but urgent. "Dozens of species want virtual tours of our forests. They think it'll help their mental state, like it does for humans." He pulled up a request from a gaseous planet's envoy, asking to simulate forest serenity to calm their volatile populations. Elena nodded, recognizing the human truth in it. Walking through green canopies had long soothed her people, easing stress, fostering clarity. Forests weren't just biology, they were therapy. Commander Reed Johnson stood by the viewport, his sharp eyes tracking distant lights of approaching ships. "Fleet redirects," he said, his tone clipped. "At least 20 systems are sending probes our way." His silver badge gleamed as he turned to Elena. "We need to signal Earth Command, now." She agreed, her mind racing. The aliens' curiosity was a beacon, but greed lurked beneath it. Reed patched a secure line to Earth, where leaders rallied, broadcasting images of forests filtering water, anchoring soil, systems that fed human agriculture, sustained civilizations. Back on Earth, rainforests shimmered under sunlight, oblivious to the alien probes now entering the solar system. Their sensors whirred, scanning emerald expanses, hungry for data on the greenery that purified human water sources. Media outlets buzzed, showcasing how forest roots prevented erosion, ensuring fertile lands for crops. Civilians gathered, eyes on the skies, as leaders emphasize humanity's reliance on these ecosystems. Elena watched a feed from home, her heart swelling at the sight of lush canopies, a reminder of what was at stake. In a side chamber, alien delegates convened, their voices a cacophony of clicks, hums, and growls. An insectoid representative, its carapace glinting, proposed exchange programs. Send our scientists, it clicked. We must learn how trees grow, how they extend life. Its words echoed human studies linking forest air to longevity, cleaner lungs, and stronger bodies. Elena listened through a translator, noting the genuine curiosity but wary of the undertones. Some delegates wanted knowledge, others wanted control. President Vaylor pulled Elena aside, his silver cloak rustling. "Your forest's air," he said, his warning tone softened by curiosity. "I wish to experience it." His elongated arms gestured subtly, betraying a personal longing. "We could mediate knowledge transfers, avoid conflict." Elena nodded, sensing an ally. She offered a cautious smile. "We're open to sharing, but it's a delicate balance." Vaylor's eyes narrowed, understanding the stakes. His own world, choked by dust, craved the oxygen-rich promise of Earth's green. Hale dug into Alliance archives, his data glasses reflecting ancient records. "No species grasp photosynthesis," he said, his voice low with realization. "They've tried plants, failed every time. That's why they're obsessed." The aliens' queries piled up. Requests for tutorials, seed samples, anything to mimic humanity's ecological edge. A crystalline delegate's perspective filtered through. It imagined its jagged world softened by green, its hum resonating with hope for a human-taught balance. Forests could transform their brittle existence, just as they steadied human climates. Diplomatic channels overflowed. A furry envoy proposed sending experts to Earth for lectures on forests' emotional benefits, how they inspired human art, and strengthened community bonds. Another requested controlled experiments with saplings, desperate to replicate the air purification humans took for granted. Elena's team strategized, balancing openness with caution. "We share the how, not the what," Hale suggested, his rational mind cutting through. "Teach them systems, not give them our forests," Reed grunted, unconvinced. "They're still circling like vultures." The crystalline delegate's harmonic yearning lingered in Elena's mind, a counterpoint to the greedier voices. She saw a path, knowledge as a shield, curiosity as a bridge. But the probes in Earth's orbit, the redirected fleets, signaled a storm brewing. Reed's warning echoed as he monitored incoming data. "They're not just curious," he said, his jaw tight. "Some want to tear it apart and learn by taking." Elena's resolve hardened. Forests were humanity's heart, purifying air, feeding souls. She'd protect them, not just for Earth, but for what they could teach a galaxy starved for green. Alien armadas materialized in Earth's orbit, their ships a mismatched fleet of crystalline spires and hulking insectoid hulls. Engines hummed, casting shadows over blue oceans and green continents. From the Galactic Alliance station, Elena Torres watched the feeds, her brown hair catching the glow of holographic displays. Her blue uniform felt tighter, anxiety coiling in her gut. Captains from the fleets transmitted demands, masked as requests for guided expeditions into the forests. "We must observe your air-purifying mechanisms," one crystalline voice hummed through translators. "Up close, to understand." Elena composed herself before broadcasting a response. Her voice echoed across channels, steady and clear. "We seek dialogue," she said. "Our forests provide renewable resources, timber for building, and fruits for sustenance. They've driven our sustainable growth." She detailed how humans harvested without destruction, maintaining balance. The aliens listened, some probes edging closer, sensors whirring toward the rainforest below. Reed Johnson stood beside her, his sharp eyes fixed on tactical screens. "They're probing weak spots," he muttered, his silver badge reflecting the lights. Johnson deployed orbital assets, sleek satellites unfolding energy fields. "Hold the line," he ordered Earth Command, his tone pragmatic. Alien diplomatic drones zip through space, carrying queries about adapting forest ecosystems to oxygen-scarce worlds. One drone from a furry envoy asked for blueprints of tree structures, eager to mimic the clean air humans breathed. Elena nodded to Hale, who analyzed the requests. "They don't get the carbon cycles," Hale said, his gray hair tousled as he adjusted his data glasses. "That's why forests are priceless to them. No replication without our know-how." Greedy envoys in the council chamber pushed harder, their voices a babble of demands. "Grant us access," an insectoid clicked, mandibles snapping. But moderates intervened, offering alliances. "Teach us your conservation," a crystalline delegate hummed, intrigued by forests' role in easing human stress, filtering pollution. Elena saw the divide, greed versus genuine learning. Earthlings below caught glimpses of the armada through telescopes, media outlets amplifying the spectacle. Reporters highlighted forest's oxygen output, how it fueled human endeavors from cities to spaceports. Vaylor convened a virtual summit, his silver skin gleaming on the hologram. "We advocate structured exchanges," he said, his authoritative voice cutting through static. "Virtual explorations first. Let them see how biodiversity sparks your innovation." Elena agreed, proposing simulated walks through canopies, showing how forests inspired human tech. Alien communications flooded in, expressing eagerness for immersive holodecks. A hairy scientist aboard a fleet ship pondered the potential. Its team huddled around scans. They felt excitement, imagining their dust-choked planets revived by human balance techniques. Elena negotiated from the station, offering preliminary data on medicinal plants. "These heal our wounds, boost immunity," she explained, trading for peace pledges. Tensions rose as the blockade tightened and ships positioned closer. Aliens proposed delegations landing on Earth for direct observations, watching humans interact with trees and breathing the air. Reed shook his head. "Too risky," he said, his jaw set. "They're blending threats with questions." Hale pulled up scans of the fleets, noting weapon arrays powered down but ready. The multi-view from inquisitive alien scientists revealed their awe. Aboard a crystalline vessel, they debated scans of forest layers, feeling a collective thrill at the ecological web. "This could change everything," one hummed, envisioning adapted worlds. Elena felt the pressure, her determination sharpening. Forests were humanity's edge, clean water, stable soils, and mental refuge. She wouldn't let them become spoils. Vaylor's summit dragged on, alliances forming amid veiled threats. "We must learn," a furry envoy insisted, its claws tapping, "or others will take." Probes dipped into the atmosphere, testing defenses. Johnson countered with precise maneuvers, satellites hurting them back. "Not today," he growled. Elena broadcast again, her voice firmer. "Knowledge shared freely builds trust." The aliens' curiosity persisted, drones relaying more queries, how forests mitigated human pollution and supported communities. She answered selectively, weaving diplomacy with caution. The storm gathered, fleets humming, Earth's green heart beating below. Reed monitored incoming data, his eyes narrowing. "They're probing for weaknesses," he said. Hale nodded, prepping more simulations. Elena stood tall, ready to steer the course. Intercepted signals crackled through the Galactic Alliance station's comms, revealing alien desperation. Fleets hovered in Earth's orbit, their captains pleading for forest knowledge amid veiled threats. Elena Torres pored over the data with Dr. Marcus Hale, her brown hair falling loose as she leaned in. "They're starving for this," Hale said, his data glasses slipping down his nose. He outlined how Earth's ecosystems built human resilience, biodiversity yielding drugs that fought viruses and strengthened bodies. The aliens, trapped in fungal worlds, saw it as salvation. Moderate envoys docked at the station, their shuttles sleek and varied. A crystalline group glided in, humming in awe at Hale's projections of forest water cycles. "This feeds your hydration, your farms," one pulsed, its light flickering. They proposed joint labs, eager to learn replication. Elena nodded, sensing a shift. "We can share techniques," she said, her voice decisive. The envoy's curiosity tempered the storm, offering a path beyond blockade. Commander Reed Johnson thwarted a rogue probe, his orbital commands precise. The device tumbled away, harmless. Aliens pivoted, requesting educational holodecks. "Simulate walks," an insectoid message, its clicks urgent. "To grasp the calm it brings to your minds," Johnson grunted, monitoring from the viewport. "They're backing off a bit," he said, his sharp eyes scanning formations. "But keep defenses hot." Elena agreed. Forests, psychological benefits, stress relief, focus, and now a bargaining chip. President Vaylor confided in a secure channel, his silver face solemn on the hologram. "Our past experiments failed," he admitted, his tone laced with regret. "No grasp of your light-to-energy process." He expressed a desire for human-led workshops on photosynthesis to unlock life for all. Elena saw vulnerability in his elongated arms' subtle tremble. "We'll guide you," she replied, "step by step." Vaylor's eyes softened, an alliance budding. Elena demonstrated regeneration cycles in the council chamber, holograms blooming with virtual trees sprouting from seeds. Delegates leaned forward, captivated. A furry envoy inquired about apprentice programs. "To study soil enrichment," it grumbled. "How does this boost your farming?" Elena explained briefly, noting how rich, earth-fed human crops sustain populations. The aliens' questions flowed, genuine hunger for knowledge overriding greed for some. Earth prepped knowledge modules back home, scientists compiling data on carbon sequestration. "This fights our climate woes," Hale transmitted, drawing alien interest in adaptive strategies. Messages poured in, requests for manuals on forest health and how they combated human pollution. A brief orbital clash flared, lasers grazing shields before subsiding. Retreating forces signaled curiosity anew. "Send the guides," one captain broadcast. Johnson eased his stance slightly, negotiating safe passages. Elena's wisdom deepened ties, aliens offering tech trades. "For insights on community bonds," a crystalline hummed, fascinated by how forests united humans. She bartered carefully, ensuring Earth's edge. From a hairy representatives team, debates echoed in intercepted chats. They weighed ethics, inspired by human ecology's potential to evolve their barren homes. "This wisdom," one murmured, "could green our skies." Diplomacy quickened, curiosity blunting aggression. Hale adjusted simulations, showing forests as medical yields, plants that healed wounds and extended lives. "That's our advantage," he said to Elena. "They can't copy without us." Reed nodded, his pessimism thawing. "Turning the tide," he muttered. Vaylor mediated more sessions, his authoritative presence steadying fractious delegates. The hairy team's perspective lingered, their inspiration a quiet force. Elena felt momentum build, forests positioning humanity as guides, not targets. Probes withdrew further, fleets holding position but powering down weapons. She broadcast offers of preliminary workshops, aliens responding with tentative agreements. "Teach us endurance through clean air," one requested, echoing human benefits. Tension simmered, but alliances formed. Johnson oversaw truce protocols, his commands crisped. Hale prepped more data, Elena steering negotiations with growing assurance. Earth's green secrets, once ordinary, are now galactic leverage. The blockade held, but curiosity wove through threats, hinting at peace. Reed scanned horizons, ever vigilant. "They're listening," he said. Hale smiled faintly. Elena stood firm, ready for the brink. Hostile fleets tightened their grip around Earth, 50 vessels pulsing with energy, their weapons glowing in the void. Demands crackled through comms, sharp and unyielding, but laced with curiosity. A crystalline captain's voice hummed, urgent. Brief us on forest oxygen production. Our crews need it. Elena Torres stood in the Galactic Alliance station's command hub, her blue uniform taut, brown hair fraying from the strain. Her eyes burned with resolve, the timid ambassador gone. She faced the council chamber's holographic feeds, ready to confront the storm. She addressed the delegates, her voice cutting through the chaos. Invasion destroys what you seek, she said. Forests shaped human evolution, resources, habitats, and stability. Ruin them, and you lose the knowledge. She detailed how trees provided timber for shelter, food from their bounty, grounding human societies for millennia. The aliens stirred, insectoids clicking, crystalline forms pulsing. A furry delegate leaned forward, its claws tapping. But how do they endure, it asked, hungry for secrets of human resilience. Commander Reed Johnson activated Earth's defense grid, satellites humming with energy shields. His sharp eyes tracked the fleet's movements, lasers ready but restrained. Hold steady, he ordered ground crews, his tone clipped. Aliens broadcast pleas for ceasefires, their scientists begging for delegations to study forest biodiversity. We want to learn, an insectoid transmitted, its clicks softening. Johnson grunted, unconvinced but alert. They're wavering, he muttered to Elena, his silver badge catching the light. Dr. Marcus Hale stood at a console, his gray hair disheveled, data glasses reflecting urgent scans. He projected a stark truth. Without human guidance, forests wither on alien worlds. Carbon cycles are our domain. The revelation stunned aggressors, their greedy murmurs shifting to negotiation. A crystalline envoy pulsed, its voice melodic. Mentor us on these cycles. Our biospheres fail. Hale's data showed forests' therapeutic plants, healing human ailments, extending lives, a power no alien could replicate. Pandemonium erupted in the chamber. Insectoids clicked furiously, demanding details on medicinal flora. Crystalline delegates hummed for access to virtual databases, craving atmospheric regulation secrets. Greed tangled with a frantic need to learn. Elena kept her footing, her voice steady. Destruction ends the lesson, she warned. President Vaylor rose, his silver cloak shimmering, his authoritative voice booming. Knowledge packs now, he declared. Access virtual forests. Learn their balance. His elongated arms gestured for order, quelling the storm. Skirmishes flared in orbit, brief flashes of laser fire grazing shields. Curious factions within the fleets intervened, broadcasting restraint. Guide us to planetary health, a hairy captain pleaded, its voice gravelly. Elena seized the moment, live streaming Earth's forests, canopy swaying, air rich with oxygen. This uplifts our spirit, she said, showing how green calmed human minds, inspired unity. Some invaders paused, their ships dimming weapon arrays, and swayed toward learning. Betrayals surfaced, intercepted comms revealing plots to seize forests. Yet even aggressors hid curiosity, proposing joint research to dissect ecosystems. Elena exposed one scheme mid-session, her voice sharp. Trust builds collaboration, she said, outing a crystalline faction's covert probes. The chamber tensed, delegates murmuring. Vaylor's eyes narrowed, supporting her call for transparency. The guilty faction hummed apologies, requesting educational tours instead. From the fleet's bridges, commanders grappled with the shift. Aboard an insectoid carrier, scientists clicked in awe, analyzing scans of forest air cycles. This could save us, one signaled, its tone reverent. The human edge, mastery of life systems, loomed large. Elena's live streams continued, showing forests' role in human survival, their emotional pull. Aliens watched, some retracting threats, proposing expeditions to learn regeneration. The crisis teetered, ultimatums clashing with offers. Elena navigated the edge, her resolve a beacon. Johnson held defenses firm, satellites repelling a stray incursion. Hale prepped more data, his rational voice grounding the team. They can't take what we know, he said. Vaylor pushed for Pax, his presence steadying. The fleet's weapons dimmed further, curiosity overtaking aggression. Elena sensed the tipping point, her voice rising. Join us to learn, she urged. The galaxy held its breath, poised between war and enlightenment. Elena Torres's voice echoed across the galaxy, a beacon slicing through the static of war. From the Galactic Alliance station, she broadcast a final plea, her blue uniform taut, brown hair loose, but eyes fierce with purpose. Humanity masters forests, she declared, her words streaming to every fleet in Earth's orbit. We sustain life through photosynthesis, a cycle you cannot replicate without us. Holographic feeds showed trees breathing oxygen, stabilizing climates. Humanity's lifeline for millennia. Fleets hesitated, their glowing weapon arrays dimming as captains absorbed the truth. Alien commanders signaled stand-downs, their curiosity outpacing aggression. A crystalline voice hummed through comms, urgent but reverent. Share your water purification methods. Our systems fail. Elena detailed how forests filtered human water supplies, ensuring hydration, feeding agriculture. The aliens listened, their ships pulling back slightly, sensors recalibrating from attack to analysis. Commander Reed Johnson monitored from the station's tactical hub, his sharp eyes tracking movements. They're rethinking, he said, his silver badge glinting. Curiosity's winning for now. President Vaylor stood tall in the council chamber, his silver cloak catching holographic starlight. The Forest Accords, he announced, his authoritative voice steady. A framework for learning Earth's ecology, academies, monitored visits. His elongated arms gestured broadly, uniting fractured delegates. Elena nodded, her resolve unshaken. She envisioned shared labs, aliens studying under human guidance, learning the balance that sustained Earth's green heart. The chamber buzzed, insectoids clicking approval, crystalline forms pulsing in agreement. Dr. Marcus Hale projected data, his gray hair mussed, data glasses reflecting intricate charts. Our forests drive innovation, he said, showing how biodiversity sparked human medicines, tech, and resilience. Aliens responded, offering resources, rare alloys, and energy systems for lessons on ecological balance. A furry envoy spoke, its gravelly voice earnest. Teach us how forests endure, how they strengthen your people. Hale outlined air purification, how clean oxygen boosted human endurance, a gift no alien world could claim. Johnson negotiated truces, his pragmatic commands crisp. Safe passage for envoys, he told Earth Command, ensuring orbital defenses held firm. Withdrawing ships signaled interest in apprentice programs, craving insights on forest role and human vitality. A crystalline captain requested, show us air cycles, how they sustain your crews. Johnson's pessimism softened, his jaw relaxing. They're buying it, he muttered to Elena, but stay sharp. She nodded, sensing the tide turning, her wisdom anchoring the moment. Delegates shifted from foes to partners, their tones hopeful. An insectoid clicked softly. Your rituals around forests, tell us. Elena shared how green spaces wove human communities, inspiring art. Unity. The aliens, from hairy envoys to scaled diplomats, leaned in, envisioning their worlds transformed. Controlled observations were proposed, virtual tours first, then guided visits to Earth. Elena ensured protection, her voice firm. We share knowledge, not control, she said, her eyes locking with Vaylor's. From the multi-view of retreating alien crews, awe took root. Aboard a hairy species ship, scientists pored over forest scans, their voices hushed. This wisdom could green our dust, one said, respect coloring their tone. They saw humanity's mastery, air, water, and life, as a galactic treasure. Elena's broadcast continued, showing forest's emotional pull, how they calmed human minds, fortified societies. A major aggressor, a hulking insectoid fleet, yielded. Learning surpasses conquest, its captain signaled, weapons powering down. The crisis crested as the Forest Accords took shape. Elena finalized terms in closed sessions, her leadership shining. Structured learning, simulations, then on-site study, as she outlined, ensuring Earth's forests remain safe. Valor supported, his presence a steady force. "This unites us," he said, his silver skin gleaming. Delegates agreed, signing initial pacts. Curiosity triumphed, fleets dispersing further, their engines quieting. Back on Earth, cheers erupted as news spread. Civilians celebrated humanity's edge. Forest's life-giving power now a galactic beacon. Elena stood in the station, her heart steady. Hale prepped training modules, his rational voice calm. "We'll teach them step by step," he said. Johnson oversaw the withdrawal, his sharp eyes softening. "We pulled it off," he grunted, a rare half-smile breaking through. The Accords promised collaboration, aliens learning human ways to nurture life, Earth's green crown shining as the galaxy's hope. The Galactic Alliance station glowed under a canopy of holographic stars as the Forest Accords were signed. Elena Torres stood at the chamber's heart, her blue uniform crisp, brown hair framing eyes now radiant with quiet triumph. Delegates from across the galaxy, crystalline, insectoid, furry, gathered in a rare unity, their signatures sealing Earth's role as steward of life. Elena's voice carried a steady warmth as she spoke. "We commit to guiding you," she said, "to share how forests sustain us, body and soul." The room hummed with approval, a new era dawning. Humanity emerged as the galaxy's ecological guide, sharing knowledge of forest biodiversity. On Earth, scientists prepared modules detailing how trees yielded medicines, strengthened human resilience. Aliens pledged protection, their fleets withdrawing from orbit, engines dimming against the blue-green curve of the planet. A crystalline envoy pulsed softly, its voice melodic. "We seek to cultivate this life," it said, craving human expertise to green its jagged world. Elena nodded, envisioning shared futures, forests binding stars. Dr. Marcus Hale led the first training session, his gray hair neat again, data glasses gleaming. In a virtual lab, he taught photosynthesis basics, showing how sunlight became oxygen, sustaining human lungs. Aliens watched, transfixed, hairy envoys scribbling notes, then insectoids clicking eagerly. "This could heal our air," one murmured, inspired by forest's health benefits to humans. Hale's rational tone grounded the lesson, his data pad projecting cycles that stabilize Earth's climate, a blueprint for galactic hope. Commander Reed Johnson oversaw the departure, his sharp eyes tracking their retreat. His silver badge caught the station's light as he coordinated with Earth Command, ensuring safe passage for incoming envoys. "They're here to learn now," he said, his gruff voice lighter, pessimism fading. Peaceful delegations arrived, docking to study ecological management. A furry scientist, its woven robes rustling, asked about forest trails, how they calmed human minds. Johnson cracked a rare grin. "Guess they're hooked." President Valor addressed the assembly, his silver skin aglow, cloak swaying. "Earth's techniques will extend life across our stars," he said, his tone warm with gratitude. His elongated arms spread wide, embracing the pack's promise. He thanked Elena personally, his alert eyes softening. "Your wisdom unites us," he added. She returned a nod, her leadership forged through crisis, now a steady flame. The galaxy saw Earth not as prey, but as a teacher, its forests a universal treasure. Diverse delegates departed with initial insights, planning deeper exchanges. An insectoid envoy clicked about virtual immersions, eager to feel the forest air's serenity. "Your people thrive in this green," it said, marveling at human rituals tied to nature. Crystalline forms hummed, scheduling follow-up labs to study medicinal plants, inspired by their role in human longevity. Elena ensured controlled access, protecting Earth's green heart while sharing its lessons, a delicate balance perfected through diplomacy. In her closing remarks, Elena's voice was a soft beacon. What's ordinary to us, forests, oxygen, becomes extraordinary when shared wisely. She spoke of human reliance on trees, their air-purifying lungs, and their roots anchoring communities. The chamber listened, captivated, as she wove a vision of galactic harmony. Aliens nodded, their varied forms united by hope. Valer's authoritative presence sealed the moment, his final gesture a call for collaboration. Earth's forests stood vibrant, now symbols of interstellar unity. Rainforests swayed under sunlight, their oxygen feeding global pride. Aliens scheduled virtual tours, immersing in canopies to grasp their gifts, clean air, and stable soils. Media feeds buzzed, humanity celebrating forests' integral role. Leaders vowed to protect them, knowing their value transcended Earth. Elna watched the feeds, her heart full. The green crown wasn't just trees, it was humanity's legacy, now shared. Global celebrations erupted, cities alive with hope. Civilians gathered under forest canopies, breathing air that had saved their world. The accords fostered partnerships, aliens learning human ways to nurture life. Hale continued training, his voice calm, guiding eager students. Johnson monitored skies, his vigilance now a quiet pride. "We did it," he said to Elena, his half-smile lingering. She returned it, her journey from timid envoy to galactic leader complete. Elena stood alone later, gazing at the stars through the station's viewport. She envisioned a galaxy transformed, aliens planting seeds under human guidance, mirroring Earth's harmony. Forests, once ordinary, now bound worlds. Their oxygen, their medicine, their calm. These were humanity's gift, a crown worn not for power, but for wisdom. As the station hummed softly, Elena felt the galaxy shift. Green spreading beyond her world, life taking root in the stars.